Sometimes I wish that what's your excuse?
Hi, good evening, everyone. Can we please mute our mics? As you know, this is being recorded. Hi, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to another Black Belt session. Vincent Ibukule from Kucheza. Mr. is the Education and Government Manager for Kucheza, which is a games based educational program based in Lagos. I'm sure he will tell us a big organization, Kucheza. So
hi, Kemi. I think you can jump in.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I think Madam Fatima's network is having some.
Kemi.
Yes. Okay, so please, I'd just appreciate if you can all still mute our microphones, just like it was said earlier. There's still some background noise coming from someone. So let's mute our microphones. I'm trying to figure out where the noise is coming from. Please let's mute our microphones. Madam Fatima, please, if it's possible to also give me host rights so I can
performed live.
Okay, so I think it's better now. And okay, so I think it's better now, and we can go ahead. Yeah. Okay, so I mean, I just want to drop just one or two thoughts before we go ahead to listen to Mr. Gbenga. I'm particularly excited about this session, and I hope that we all get to take this particular session really seriously. Kucheza is an organization focused on gaming, and I believe we're going to learn so much about how we can infuse play into our teaching to be able to achieve lots of results. Okay, over 10 years of teaching now, and I can say that every lesson that has some infusion of games or play always yields the best results with our learners. So as teachers, we must not be too rigid to the extent that we don't open up to play within our classrooms, regardless of the subject you are teaching, regardless of your niche or subject area. There will always be a way to infuse that element of play or gamification. So yeah, so we're going to learn some of that this evening, and I hope that we all pay attention to this. Thank you very much, everyone. Mr. Gbenga, you're welcome, and we're glad to have you this evening.
All right. Thank you very much, Kemi. Good evening again, everybody. Thank you for joining this session. Thank you for being here. Well done on all the work you've been doing. We are truly grateful to just be here and to share session with us. So Kucheza Gaming, we are a video games and esports company. We have two different arms of the business. One arm of the business focuses on game development and all of that. And the other arm is our impact as a service proposition, where we train students and also engage with teachers to have a much more interesting and engaging classroom. And this we do through video games. This evening, before we jump into the session, I would love us to, get a little bit excited. So we would run an activity at this time. It's a simple one, don't worry. So if we were in a physical space, then we would have done something more elaborate. But so let me look for who to call out. Okay, let me see. You are the only person I'm seeing, and I don't want to call you. All right, so let me call on Justin. Hi, Justin.
Yeah, I'm getting you. Is it me or another one?
Oh, okay. There's this. Okay, so let's go with Manzi. Manzi, did I call your name right? Manzi.
Yeah, yes, Manzi is Kinyarwanda name.
Okay, fantastic. So Manzi, I would want you, where you are seated, whatever item you have on you, just pick it up and hold on to it. Whatever item you have, but not so difficult an item. Whatever item you have around you, please hold on to it. Do you have an item at hand?
Now,
Yes, right now.
an item of what?
Any item you can see around you.
So I have bag, of course.
Don't tell us what you're holding. Just pick an item.
An item. I don't want to. I don't know. I don't want it to understand what you are talking about. So
okay, so
I don't want to mean.
For example, on my table right now, I have a table.
You have?
I have my phone. I have a speaker. I have this sheet of paper. I have this base.
Okay.
Any item that you can see around you. Any item.
No, of course. Of course, I have a telephone right now.
Don't tell us what it is.
Hey. Yes, I have it.
Okay. Okay, you know what? We'll come back to you, Justin. Let's see. Okay, Kemi, pick an item. You're muted,
okay.
Kemi.
Okay, so I've picked an item. Yes, I have.
So I would give 3 people the opportunity to guess whatever Kemi is holding. Let's start with Ruth.
Prince Patrick.
Ruth Eggy, can you guess what Kemi is holding? I hope I pronounced your name correctly.
Yeah, you tried. Yeah, I tried.
All right. So can you guess what Kemi is holding?
She's holding a pen.
Pen? All right. So Kemi, is correct?
No.
Okay. Let's go to. Okay, go ahead, Patrick.
I think Miss Kemi is holding a phone.
A phone? Kemi, is it correct? Ah, that was so quick. All right. So Prince, you got it. Pick an item on your desk.
Okay, I've done that.
Done that. All right. Fantastic. Rachel, I can see your face. Good evening. Can you tell us what Prince is holding?
Maybe a pen.
Prince, is she correct?
No.
All right. Let's see, who else can we call on before we get started? Becky Unyangu. I hope I pronounced your name correctly.
It's Becky Nyang'au.
Oh, okay. So I will stick with Becky so we don't get to the other end for now.
Yeah.
All right. So Becky, what do you think Prince is holding?
She's holding a phone.
Prince, is she correct?
No.
Okay. So we'll go one more. Idowu Abigail, are you there? Can you tell us what Prince is holding?
I'm not sure.
Just guess. You're just guessing off the bat.
Okay.
What it might be.
Piece of paper.
Prince, is she correct?
Not
All right. So you give one last person. So I will call on Dorcas. Dorcas Akin, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Wow. Good evening, everyone. I think Mr. Prince is holding a book, a jotter, rather.
Prince, is she correct?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we'll jump right into it. Let me share my screen briefly, just a minute. Okay. Just a minute, please. Okay, so now there is a firewall I will see. Sorry. I'm just seeing this challenge right now. Let me see. So, okay, I think we should be fine now. Let's try again. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, you know what? Kemi, would you be able to share my screen share my slide for me if I share it with you?
Yes, I showed just that it might take 1 to 2 minutes, but yes.
Okay. Please, can you just share your email address? I'm not sure. I do not want to look that. I'm trying to. Okay. Right. You will be added to the document shortly.
Okay, so while Mr. Gbenga is, are you ready with the, have you sent over the slides?
Yes, you should have it now.
Okay, still trying to open it up. I wanted to have some 1-2 minutes of play while we set up the.
All right, so let's continue then.
All right.
Why you put that up? So let's go. All right, so we'll do something else. It's a little bit of a scavenger hunt. Anybody right now, if you look around your house, can anybody come up with a little speaker, like a tiny speaker? Anybody? And you have to show us your tiny speaker.
What kind of speaker?
Sound speaker, something, just a minute, let me show you what I have on my desk. Something like this. So something small that you use for sound. Does anybody have a speaker? Speaker. Ah, all right. Rachel got one. Good stuff. All right, let's see. I'm going to look around this space to see what might be hard. All right, does anybody have a ball? A ball. A ball. Anybody. A ball. Wow. All right, Rachel has everything just right around the corner. Okay, let's see. This one might be hard. Does anybody have a sticky note? You know those sticky notes that you just write on and you stick to your screen or to a book? Sticky notes. Anybody?
I should be having one.
You do? All right, you would need to show us your sticky notes.
Very. Oh, yeah, it is.
Ah, Rachel again. Rachel, you deserve an award because you have everything. You truly deserve an award. Okay, let's see if there is anything else that you should not have. Okay. So, Kemi, are we ready?
Just in a minute.
Okay.
So I'm setting up on another device. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. You know what? Let me stop stressing you. I think I will just do this. So I will drop off, then join back.
Okay, so while we're waiting for Mr. Gbenga to join in, we apologize for the technological age. I'm sure we all know how technology can get sometimes, but when I started having the conversation with Mr. Gbenga about this session, there was a particular incident that happened that I would just like to share with us because it relates to our job as teachers, and I'm sure that we can all learn from it. There's a certain students that I've been working with, and they looked as if our results weren't going too well. And then I had a conversation with her parents, and the mom told me that she has about 4 lesson teachers for the girl, 4 lesson teachers that teach her every day from Monday to Saturday, that she's, she wants to bombard the girl with a lot of work so that the girl will not have any breathing space. But the truth is that there was no positive effect of all what the woman was doing because it was just stressing up the girl. So I asked the woman that maybe she also wants to focus on some interests that the girl has. What are some things that the girl actually likes that she can, let her do? So she told me that the girl likes coding, the girl likes a particular game or something, but that she wasn't going to allow the girl do any of that because all she wants for the girl is just academic results. She just wants the girl to work and work and work. So I told her that why not allow, give this girl this room to at least do 1 or 2 activities that she really enjoys, because there are some games and activities that will actually build up critical thinking skills in children. Things like chess, things like coding, and so many other games, Scrabble. There are there are just lots of these games that can develop a child's mental abilities, a child's reasoning skills. It's not until when a child has, math and English and science and all of those subjects that we can actually build critical skills in these children. And that, so, she said she will allow her, with just 1 of these activities. And the girl started doing these activities that, she was enjoying. So she started going for some coding classes and some of, these gaming classes that children really enjoy. And I can tell you that within a short time, some of the things that we were actually struggling with the girl was picking them, she was picking up by herself. Some 3-4 letter words that we were still struggling to get her to, put together and piece together. For some reason, after she started doing these activities, games here and there, she was picking up on this. So there's actually a connection, when we say that today's session is focused on the pedagogy of play, there's actually a connection between play-based learning and actual development of, the skills that children or students need to thrive. So that's just an example. I'm sure that if all of us get to talk this evening, we all have different examples of ways that we've infused play into our lessons to achieve the desired result. So so I just thought to share that, and I hope Mr. Gbenga is back. If there's anyone who wants to add to this or just share something in relation to this, you're also welcome to. Let's say you've infused a play-based method into your classroom and it made a difference. I think we can just take at least 1 or 2 people sharing before Mr. Gbenga comes back in.
All right. Just to mention, I am back.
Okay.
Back. Mr. Gbenga is back now.
Co-host so that I can share my screen. I'll try it again and see. So thank you very much, Kemi, for holding the fort. So one of the things I have also observed in schools, and especially with parents when it comes to video games, people always think video games, or let me use, in time past, gaming has been seen as just an avenue for play, and there is no level of learning that comes out of video games. And that can be, it's widely wrong. It is not the truth, it is not correct. Reason being that there is so much, whether you're a kid or an adult, that you can learn through video games. I won't dwell on educational games. I will speak more on games generally, AAA games and all. And these games, from video games, you can learn things like strategy. So Kemi mentioned games like chess. Chess is a strategic game from end to end, from the start of the game to the very end of the game. And then you play any other game. You want to play FIFA, Call of Duty, whatever game you're playing, you have to build strategy. So there are different kind of genres of games, from puzzle games, which just helps your thinking and helps your brain cells to, you know, piece things around, to adventure games, to which speak on storytelling and all of that. So there are multiple kind of games that people can engage in and get deep learning out of it. All right, so I would share my screen now. Give me a minute. Let me share. I have been able to fix what the challenge was. So I would share my screen. All right. Please let me know where you can see my screen. Can you see my screen, please?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Fantastic. Give me a minute. Then we can slideshow. All right. So again, good evening again, everybody. My name is Gbenga Folorunsho from Kucheza Gaming. So Kucheza, for those of us from Kenya and the likes, you know what Kucheza means. It means play or to play. So please note, nobody in Kucheza is from that region of Africa. We are all Nigerians. But the word Kucheza just, it's captured the essence of what we are trying to do as a business. And when we started with our partners in the UK called Digital Schoolhouse, UK Education. So they are a subsidiary of UK Education, who are the governing bodies of video games in the UK. And they have award-winning curriculum, which are sponsored by Nintendo, PlayStation, EA, Sega, Ubisoft, and the likes. It's developed over 50 workshops, and even right here in-house in Kucheza, we are developing our workshops, and we can always work with great minds like you to build and develop more workshops. We are building a community to challenge primarily the perception of computing through exploration and innovation together. We are driving ingenuity with teachers, where teachers can harness their own creativity for a lasting impact on pupils, because one of the things I have also got to realize when speaking to teachers, they always think that they are not creatives. They always think that, oh, creatives are people who can sing, people who can draw, and the likes. But each and every one of us have that creative juice flowing on the inside of us. Also, we are trying to enable all students to thrive in the 21st century digital economy, so building diversity. In all of this, we are saying be creative as a teacher, be innovative as a teacher, be a little bit crazy, not so much crazy, just a little bit crazy, and most importantly, be a whole lot of fun. Don't be rigid. Don't be the teacher that when you come into the classroom, the students are wondering, okay, so what is the anger with this teacher this morning? Did she get into the rain while coming? Did she, just be fun. So this evening, I would speak on the pedagogy of play, because one of the things we realize is the fact that play is a word that, when it comes to education, we have, sort of put it to the side. Like, no, as educators or as students, we must be serious. We must be focused. But failing to realize that play is in the DNA of every child, and as they play, they build learning as they go along. Research showed that in the hunter-gatherer's time, that's in the olden days, where we had primarily hunters and we had primarily farmers, one of the major ways in which their kids learn in building and becoming adults, or building and becoming functional citizens in the society, was through play. And how do they do it? So at night, where the chiefs gather, they deliberate on the matter, and they pass a judgment. In the morning, you see the kids, they gather again, the kids themselves now, they gather, each of them assigning roles to themselves, and one person becomes the head chief, and every other person, judge a matter, pass a judgment, and all. But what they are doing, they are playing, but at the same time, they are building learning through that play. That at the end of the day, when they get into the adulthood, they already understand these are the fundamental principles to drive a functional society. But because we are adults, we forgot how to play. But being playful is actually instinctive. It's actually something that is on the inside of us. There is little, or there is no one who does not have any atom of play on the inside of them, except, I don't know, let me not use the word I want to use. But we don't stop learning through play. We just stop teaching through play. As teachers, we have come to build that, what would I call it? That wall, that facade that has stopped us from playing in our classroom, that has stopped us from having playful moments within the classroom. I remember there was a session we had with our UK partners where they were introducing a new workshop, and the workshop would require the teacher to stand in front of the class, and the students would be giving him or her direction. The workshop is called Moon Landing. It was teaching about the invention of computers and all of that, the history of computer and how it has evolved through the ages. And one of the session, part of the session is for teachers to stand in front of the class, and the students will be given the teacher instructions. So the teacher stands like a robot, and the teacher will just be going, giving different or making different actions based on the instruction of the students. And one of the questions I was asking my colleague Vincent, and I see was, how many of our teachers would stand in front of the classroom and allow their students to give instructions, to say, don't like this, turn your head, all because we have somehow built a wall around ourselves where play should not be found within the classroom, where everything about the classroom has to be serious, everything about the classroom has to be, where we are trying to be focused, we are trying to drive the learning home. But one thing we realize is that as you teach through play, you are driving home the message faster and even better than when you are trying to just stay focused. So play is just as effective for adults as it is for children. Even as adults, when you throw play into the classroom, it is easier to get the adult to understand it better. It is easier to get the adult to pick the knowledge faster, just as it is with children. So when we go into our classrooms, the first thing we should always try to think around this play. So for example, in starting this session, we started with just an activity that will just bring about play. It's first of all, it lightens our heart. It makes us drop our guard. And also when we go into the class, we just throw play. Make the class.
What's wrong with you?
The students in class, they become more interested in what you are saying. They become more excited in what you are saying. So what is play? Exactly, when we talk about play. According to Ackman et al. In 2010, a research that was done, he said to play is to engage. When we play, we pick up objects, we pick up ideas, or we pick up themes and do whatever we want with them. We turn them upside down and we experiment with them. Now take note of the word experiment. We might arrive at something inspiring and amazing, but that is not necessarily the point. We play anyway. This is play for its own sake. For humans and some animals, play is a vital part of development. What is more often forgotten is that play is not for children alone, but is good for all people, young and old alike. At this point, I would want to train something because Kemi mentioned about video games earlier at the start of the session. One of the things people, when we talk to people about video games and education and all of that, the question they always tend to ask is, so what are educational games we can use in our classroom and all? And the truth is, no child, for children who play video games, for those of us who have kids, when you give your kid a tab or a phone to play a game, they don't go playing the game with the notion that while playing the game, I would learn. But in the midst of playing the game, they build learning out of it. So learning, it's embedded into video games. So they play for the sake of play, but learning comes as a result of the play. I give an example. I was talking to someone a while back where she was saying her son plays Minecraft, which is one of the most popular games around kids, and how they were watching a TV program, and the son made a statement about the material they were using in the program and how the material is combustible and it's not good for a particular aspect of a house and all. And she was wondering, the boy was about 11, 12 at the time, and she was wondering, how can you know this? You are not a builder, you have no background knowledge of all. And he was saying, while playing Minecraft, these are the materials you have to combine to form this exact material which this person is talking about. And when you form this material, what happens is it's combustible, so you can use it to make fire in the game. So at that point, it dawned on her that this boy went to play Minecraft for fun, but in the midst of playing Minecraft, he has built knowledge, which is more like residual knowledge. He does not need the knowledge at the time, but at the moment where he saw the application of the knowledge, he could speak to it because he understood what it was. So play is for the fun of it, but we do experiment with it. Now, experimenting with it, you might come up with something amazing, something really good, something really interesting, but that's not really the goal of play. The goal of play is for the fun of it. Now, in playful learning, there are 4 parts to it. We have free play, we have guided play, we have games, and we have direct instruction. Free play is child-led. And when we talk about child-led, is just like your break time in school where the kids just go out and they're just running about and everybody is, going wild and doing whatever they like. And at the end of the day, they come back into the class. That's free play. In free play, most times, there is no learning attached to it. Then we have guided play, which is child-led, more child-led, but adult scaffolded, in the sense that you have created paths for the child to play, but within that play, you have created learning objectives around it. So that's more the guided play. Then we have games. So they are adult designed, adult scaffolded, there are set rules, there are constraints for this play. It's just like guided play, but it is designed with scaffolds around it that set rules and constraints for the child. Then we have direction instruction, so which is adult design, adult controlled, set constraints for activity and all of that. So when you have all of this in your classroom, in your lessons and all of that, what you have is a balance of a child-adult involvement and constraints. So when we talk about play, we are not saying leave the child to just run free. No, we are saying build scaffolds that as the child is going through the play, the motion of play, the child is picking up learning accordingly. And at the end of the day, you observe and you realize that the child has learned so much out of the scaffolds you have built, out of the scaffolds you have thrown into the whole system of play. So at this point, we talk a lot about gamification, game-based learning, play-based learning, but what does it mean? What makes it all different? Play-based learning refers to learners where they construct knowledge themselves. They explore, they experiment, they discover, they solve problems, all in a playful and unique way. So it's just like, let me use, I don't know if anybody is a science teacher. So you come into class, or let's say a computing teacher, for example. You come into class and you say, everybody go find out what is used to make bricks, for example. Now, it's not because you cannot tell them you need sand, you need water, you need cement and all of that, and you need the mold to pour all of it in, so I mix and all. But in doing that, what happens to the child? The child will go in the classroom or out of the classroom, and he or she would explore. He or she would ask questions. We say, okay, if I'm going to make a brick, what do I need? Does his own research. Some children would experiment. And while they are doing all of this, they are discovering, oh, sand, you need this mix of sand, you need this mix of cement, you need this mix of water for you to get the right block mix. If not, your block will be weak. If not, your block will be too strong, and all of that. They discover knowledge themselves when you use play-based learning methods or approach in the classroom. Now, game-based learning approach refers to the use of video games to support teaching and learning. So when you use games like Minecraft, when you use games like Minecraft to teach in the classroom, what you are doing, you are using game-based learning methods. There are other games you can use in the classroom. Then gamification is the use of elements derived from video game design, which are then deployed in a variety of contexts rather than just using individual video games. So different approaches can be used. So most times in classrooms, the one that we know most teachers use is the gamification method. So you have things like the leaderboard, you have things like scoreboard and the likes. So those are elements of video games that we use in our classroom. But gameplay is more the treatment of topics and ideas as rules, actions, decisions, and consequences, rather than as content to be communicated. So you are not communicating a gameplay, but you are using elements of it to teach. So video games allow learners to engage with topics and ideas through interaction and simulation rather than through the conventional material methods of schooling. So what this means is, rather than coming into class to teach, this is a boy, this is a girl, or this is computer, this is a mouse, there are ways you could use computer and video game elements to teach all of it. So play versus gamification. So play-based learning uses your internal intrinsic instincts for curiosity, playfulness, and imagination. So you're thinking and you are just going wild. But gamification is using external rewards and triggers, apply game style mechanics and terminology. E.g., you're using badges, you're using leaderboards and all, and is not always playful. So gamification, when you do gamification in class, it's not always playful. That I can tell you for free. But when you explore play-based learning methods or approach, it involves a lot of play. Now, the journey in the classroom, which we always expect, is that when the teacher comes into class, the projection just goes from zero knowledge and it goes all the way. They make a lot of progress. This is the ideal situation we want for all our students. And if we say, oh, let's let them get on with it, let them just be free, free play, just play as you like, you will learn accordingly. They will never get to the place here we want them to get to. They'll go up, come down, everybody's going zigzag, nobody's really picking the learning. But last but not the least, there is another method, which is guided exploration, through play-based learning or game-based learning method. And we can guide them through play to achieve the results we really want them to achieve. So in conclusion, I think I've done a lot of talking. So just FYI, we would have a brief activity at the end, so that it just captures one of the activities which we use in our classes or in our sessions. So in conclusion, encouraging learners to generate their own ideas and make their own discoveries is a powerful medium in education. Through guided steps, the learners discover concepts for themselves, and to them, it's something totally new. But they completely understand it because it's totally their own idea. So it's more when you send the child to go explore an idea or explore knowledge, whatever they bring back to you in their mind, this is me, I got this, I found this on my own, nobody helped me, and it would forever be with them. So I remember one of the schools we work with, their teacher, when we started running these sessions with her and her students, what she did, because she's music inclined, she teaches computing in school. So what she did, she converted her computing notes or lessons into music. So when she comes to class, it's just more like they're in a music room and the students just sing along the topics and all of that. And at the end of the day, when they get into exam hall, especially for her own papers, you just hear the kids, they are just humming a sound. And as they are humming, they are writing down the sound, because that is how they don't need to cram it. They know the song already. So they sing along and they just write the answers. So the role of the teacher then changes. Now the teacher's task is to simply provide the vocabulary to enable students to describe their discoveries. If you think back to the traditional classroom of how the teacher comes into class and just gives notes and all of that and just speaks, when he or she is done, walks out of the class, to getting the kids to play, to build knowledge themselves, guide them through this play, motions and all of that. That is a very huge, pedagogical shift. And that is what we are hoping and looking forward to, that we can have in our classrooms. Through play, we can help students discover new knowledge. We can help them experiment on knowledge. We can help them find their feet in learning, but rather than just, going through the motions of every day, just come to school and go back home. At this point, I would stop and I would take your questions if we have any. Questions, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Gbenga. That was really interesting. So, questions or contributions or anything you want to say about the session?
Anybody, any question, whatever the question is.
You can talk about your experience with play.
Hello? Your network again.
Okay,
Hello?
I think Fatima is still having some network issues. But if you have any feedback, comments, please share questions.
All right, so while we wait for people to give their feedback, I would just make this announcement. So one of the things we do at Kucheza, we run something called Ingenuity Day. And Ingenuity Day is it's a day designed, is an initiative designed to empower, educate, transform, and inspire teachers by providing valuable insights, strategies, and resources that enhance teaching effectively. This we run, so we have the Lagos Ingenuity Day. We also have the sessions with our UK partners. So this session for here in Lagos, is an in-person session, but we could share links also for those of us who are out of Lagos. But if you're in Lagos, you're invited. It's at number 2 Reverend Gumbi Street, GRA Ikeja. It's for next week, Friday. So we are using this opportunity to invite everybody. Yeah, please invited. Join us next week, Friday. Let's share knowledge. And for this session, we would be looking at video game as a teaching tool. And our focus primarily would be on Minecraft. So I don't know how many of us play Minecraft, but that would be the session we would be having next week, Friday. So please join us. Kemi, go ahead, please.
Okay, so there's a question in the chat box. I think the person is asking if, all of the things you've said can actually be applied to older students, like game-based learning, all of that. Like some people might assume just younger children or younger students, these strategies will just work for the younger students. So I think that's what the question is about. Can this approach, all of these approaches also be implemented when you're teaching older students?
Yes, 100%. It can. And in recent time, we have even had more success, let me use that word, with the older students, because because the sessions are more practical in nature, it's easier for them to grab the concept. And when you send them out to build knowledge on their own, at first they might struggle with it, but as you keep engaging them with it, they get to understand the concept, and it's easier for them to run with it. So let's jump to the activity so you see how it works. So this activity is called the 3-word stories. It's a word game. What is it? It's a word game where you tell a story 3 words at a time, but there's a twist. And what's the twist? The story is told in pairs. One person in the pair has a word that they can only see. Their aim is to try and get their partner to Hello, sorry. So, okay, let me use, let me see, what subject is the most common subject we teach here? Does anybody teach, let me see.
Math, English, science.
Okay, let's do science. Let's do science. Science is the easiest one that comes to mind, but this can be used in any of the classrooms. So let's do science. So can we have a topic in science? Any topic in science?
Acid and bases.
Acid and bases, fantastic. So you have taught acids and bases and all of that. You have your classroom, so you have like a leaderboard. You have your students, you put them in pairs, in groups. So which we can do right now. So let's use, so let me stop sharing my screen so that I can see all of us. So I would put us in pairs. So, okay, you know what? Let's not even do science. Let's do from the session which we just had. So I would call on my colleague Vincent. I would, hi Vincent, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I'm here. So we would run this as an example. I know my word. Okay, let me just, no, I know my word. Let's see if Vincent can get the word I am trying to talk about. Now I am making only, I'm speaking with only 3 words, right? And then Vincent will continue until Vincent gets what I am trying to talk about. So I start. In class today,
we had a session.
And I discovered
that the pupils are.
Take that again, Vincent.
That the pupils are
excited to experiment.
With the computer.
This has shown
that it is something can you hear me?
If they explore
with nature and
objects, they will
play a lot in the class.
So, Vincent, do you know the word I'm trying to get, which you have not scored yet, but can you guess what I'm trying to talk about?
Well, I think I'm a bit far from it because I'm just trying to read your mind. I'm trying to follow the words, but I think I'm a bit far from it.
So if you see, I've mentioned 3 different words. I've mentioned explore, I've mentioned discover, I've mentioned experiment, which are all played, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
In the classroom, I don't know who mentioned acids and bases. In the classroom, we do acids, types of acids, all of those things. And so 2 groups, you give them let's say, for example, group A is supposed to define acid, group B is supposed to define bases, say types of acids, bases, but they don't tell themselves this is what I am talking about. What they are doing, they are giving in as to this is it. But the more they keep talking about it, it's more like you are reinforcing the knowledge which you have given onto them in the class. I don't know if you understand what this activity does. So basically what you are doing, so again, take notes. It's not every time you come into class that you must have a game. When I say game, you use video games elements. You can have activities, things are called playful activities. You can have activities which you run. So there are games. So I believe we know the game green light, red light. That is an activity that can be run in class to drive home a particular knowledge. There are activities that, like what somebody spoke about, oral in the chat, oral literature. This goes beyond oral literature. It can be used to just drive home the point. So what are we saying in essence? Bringing play into the class, the play can be tied around the lesson which you have just taught. And because you have tied it around it, the students play with it, they experiment with it, they practice with it, and at the end of the day, what happens is they go home with the play which they have played in class, but the nuggets from those play which they have done stays with them. That when they come the following week and they talk about it, or you are asking questions about it, it has not slept off them. It is still upon them. It is still something they understand. It's still something they can use and they can talk about without missing a bit. Yeah. So someone says, at which stage of teaching should games be introduced? So it depends on the kind of games you are talking about. When you say, if you can unmute your mic to speak, so I get the context with which you are asking. Hi, Joma. You are muted. Okay. Go ahead, please.
Hello, Mr. Gbenga.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, hi, Mr. Gbenga. I can hear you.
I can hear you. Can you please
give... ask the question. Hello, I asked a question.
Yes.
I said that which stage of the teaching should games be introduced?
So when you say which stage, I'm trying to understand, is it like at what age or at what point in the class?
No, I mean at what stage? Is it at the beginning, at the middle, or at the end?
Okay,
because at the beginning, we have the entry behavior. Then is it at the beginning, as soon as you start the lesson, or at the middle, or at the end? When is the best time to bring in games? Because I know it will not only be games. There'll be gaming and there'll be teaching. So my question is, at what level of the teaching should game be introduced?
Vincent, please go ahead.
Did you hear me?
Sorry, can you hear me? Yes, ma'am. Yes, loud and clear, ma'am. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can I help out? Can I contribute?
Okay, please go on. Hello? Someone said she wants to contribute.
Yes, it's Madam.
Yes, Miss Fatima is like she's having problem with the network.
Okay. Okay, so
Ichoma, I think it depends.
Okay. Okay, ma. Okay, ma. Thank you, ma.
Okay, this person just mentioned what I want to mention, and I was talking about Khadija Folake. It's just like our evaluation. We have formative evaluation, you have summative, formative, the ones that helps to build the class, start the class, right? Summative, the one that's helped to end the class. So your game can come anytime you want. It all depends on you, the teacher. You are the master of the class, you are the one that wants to introduce it. You can use the game to start the class. It can be as a means of just to get the children up. It can be as a means to just reinforce what you have taught in the class. You can even inject it in the middle of the class just to carry them along, to know that are all the students following what I'm trying to teach them. So it all depends on you as a person. So there is need for you to first understand the concept you want to bring to the class. You understand it and know, okay, where do I want to introduce it and how am I going to do it? So the whole thing totally depends on you. So that means the game that you are to introduce, we have to depend on the topic, the subject at hand, and you as a person, our understanding, our understanding of all the things you have at grasp, that will depend on how you and when you introduce the game. So that is what I want to add to it.
Okay, thank you so much.
So thank you, Patrick. I see you said games can be used in the classroom to reinforce learning objectives, foster collaboration among students, which is very important, and increase engagement with the material. They are particularly effective when used as a form of active learning to provide hands-on experiences that encourage critical thinking, problem-solving skills. However, it's important to integrate games strategically, ensuring they align with the curriculum and contribute meaningfully to the educational goals of the lesson. 100%, very, very correct. So one of the things we should understand when we talk about using games in classrooms, again, like I said, it's not just games. You can build your own games through the activity. So when we were all growing up, there were things we played with outside our houses that can be brought back into the classroom. It's just for you understanding how can I take the concept of this play, which I engaged in when I was younger, to bring it now into the class to get the kids to play with it, and at the same time, it's driving the learning objective. And something else, just to add to what Vincent and everybody has said, is the fact that, let's say, for example, you at the start of your lesson, let's say you had an icebreaker which does not tie back to the topic, or it could tie back to the topic, but you've done maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes, you have like a 45 minutes class, 10, 15 minutes in class, you've taught a concept. You could use play or games or whatever you have in class to reinforce that learning. Then you move to the next bit of the objective which you have for the day. And you can introduce all of this systematically in your classroom to drive on the learning which you are trying to drive on at the end of the day. I hope that helps us. Any other question, please? And anybody can add to all that has been discussed this evening. The floor is open to every one of us. Any questions? Questions, please.
I just want to say that thank you for the learning, the teaching this evening. It's not as if we don't know that games are good. The question I asked, just for some of us to know that at what level, it could be any time. Maybe here you see that children are now getting bored of what you're saying, you can bring in games. So that was why I asked the question. You have done well, have done justice to the gaming. I think is a good one. And I would just advise that we all go back and apply what we have learned so that our classrooms will be interesting for the children. And again, I saw that when children are introduced to game, when they see you, they will not see enough of you. They will not want to leave the class because they are enjoying every bit of what is going on in the class. So I know that gaming is very good and helps us to achieve the objective of whatever we are teaching at the end of the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, please, I have a question, please.
Go ahead, please.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for the teaching. I just want to ask, what particular games can you use to teach numeracy topics? Like, I want to teach a particular numeracy topic. Well, can there be a particular game that I can say, okay, I'll show the kids and then they'll be able to understand the concept before I even start teaching? Thank you.
Thank you very much. What age are these kids?
I think flashcards. I think flashcard can help. At least I don't know the stage.
I mean, it depends on the topic.
Yeah, it depends. At least flashcards can.
Yeah, it depends on the topic you're trying to teach, because mathematics is such a subject that lends itself to reality so well. You know, if you're if you're doing addition or subtraction, you can pretend you're shopping in a shop. You can pretend you're making somebody's clothes and they measure different parts of their body to make the clothes. You can do so many games with maths. It depends on what topic you're teaching, but there's so many things that we do in our everyday lives that are actually mathematics. Cooking, for example, is just applying whatever topic you're doing to real life experiences.
Okay, so before I stop talking, wow, we've done an hour already. Let me
if Ludo, snakes and ladders, they have to count.
I just wanted to say this. Again, you are building on your creativity so you can look at everything around you. Also, familiarize yourself with the kind of games the kids play. So let's say you go to your class, ask them, what kind of games do you play? Ensure the games are age appropriate. And if these games are age appropriate, you could look for ways to take elements of those games to introduce to the kids. So for example, I would show us something a teacher did with a game called Among Us in a maths class. Just a minute. So she was using Among Us. She understood that her students played Among Us. Among Us is a casual game, a very interesting game to play amongst friends and all. And then, so what she did, she didn't come into the class to play the game. No, she used the idea of the game or the elements of the game to teach in the class. And how did she do it? She created slides using the Among Us thing and got the students to, it made the students feel like they were inside the game and they were participating or playing the game. So now these are the instructions. It says complete the task in order. You must show your work neatly on a separate piece of paper. A photo will be required to get credit for your task. So this is meant to be like an assignment. Make sure to follow the map. And then, so this, on the game itself, this is the map of the game. So you start from the cafeteria where the game starts. So if I click task 1, it is a math question. But the teacher didn't want to teach the same because she can take the same question and just write it on the board or send it as an assignment, just a question, and that's it. But because the child is seeing it that, oh, this is Among Us. I am within Among Us. I'm playing Among Us while solving maths question. For me to go to the next task or to the next room, I need to solve this. I need to get the answer. And when you get the answer of this, you go back to the map, you go to task 2. It says if 2,400 pieces of debris are divided evenly by 3 dispense bins, how many pieces of debris will be in each bin? Now, the teacher didn't come to class to play the game Among Us. All the teacher did was incorporate elements of the game into the class. That the child, in the child's mind, because they already played the game at home, what they see is more like I am playing the game again in class. And this was so exciting for them that they could work in groups and solve the questions. And then she added elements of the rules of the game and all of that into the classroom, and they had all of this and all. So I also want to just share this so we understand that it's not just playing the game in class. There are elements of the game you could also introduce into the classroom.
Isioma has had her hand up for a long time. Isioma, would you like to unmute?
I think she asked a question earlier. I don't know if it's...
Hello, good evening. Yeah, actually, it's not a question I'm asking. He was talking about a workshop on Friday. So I wanted to get the location. I didn't get the location then. So I don't know if they can actually give the location for that training on Friday.
Yeah, that's on number 2, Reverend Ogumbi Street. Number 2, Reverend Ogumbi Street, Ikeja GRA. The flyer.
Are the training free or we are paying?
Free, 100% free. You don't pay for it.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Welcome very much. Questions?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Gbenga.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for all of the knowledge shared. Madam Fatima, I think we're good to move. I think we've answered all the questions now. Hello, Madam Fatima.
Any other questions? Yeah, to wrap it up, yeah?
Okay, we still can't hear you properly. Yes, I can hear you now. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so I believe that we've all learned something, and then more information will still be shared with us across all our Black Belt pages subsequently. The onus lies on us to also go do our own research too, and see how well we can implement all of these things we learn into our teaching to make a difference. On that note, we will bring this meeting to an end. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Gbenga. Thank you to the team at Kucheza. We're truly grateful.
Thank you, Mr. Gbenga, for a wonderful session.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We really enjoyed the section. We really enjoyed the section. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We are so much grateful from Kano.
Thank you. Wow, Kano. Hopefully someday we'll be in Kano.
We're indeed looking forward to having you in Kano then.
Yes.
All right, have a lovely day.
Thank you. Okay, bye everybody.
Good night,
Bye.
everyone.
Have a good night.
Thanks.
Huh?